A Vermont marijuana company questions authority of Cannabis Control Board, you guys. That's right. A Vermont cannabis company ordered to halt operations is questioning the authority of the state board that gave the order. Derby-based Holland Cannabis is currently fighting to stay in business after the Vermont Cannabis Control Board found positive tests for a banned substance in their product. Now the question is, how much power does the board have to penalize these companies? In a quote, the legislative intent was, we're doing this for the public safety and consumer health. Those are our guiding principles always, says James Pepper, the chair of the Vermont Cannabis Control Board. In 2023, the Cannabis Control Board investigated Holland Cannabis after a Vermonter reported getting sick from consuming pot grown by the company. Lab test results showed the pot sold in 5 retail locations contained a prohibited pesticide called Eagle 20. In a filing to the board, Holland Cannabis denies responsibility for that contamination, but the company is also disputing the authority that the board has to take punitive action against them. In a quote, the order to stop sale and the order to stop growing, we think violates the due process laws under the United States Constitution and under the Vermont Constitution, said Stuart Revo, the attorney for Holland Cannabis. In their defense, Holland Cannabis points to a letter from the governor to lawmakers last session on a bill regarding the future of the Cannabis Control Board, in which Governor Phil Scott raises concerns about separation of powers. In his letter, the governor wrote, in quote, the legislature has no authority to delegate the constitutional power of the governor to an entity that is now permanently independent of the executive branch and is therefore not accountable to the people of Vermont. But Pepper calls that constitutional argument meritless. He says the legislative legality gave the board authority over licensing, regulation, and enforcement. And in a quote says, in order to achieve that well-regulated system, we need to have consequences for our actions. Of course, the most severe consequence, one that we don't enjoy using, is to revoke or suspend a license, Pepper said. Lawmakers who were at the table when the retail market was created say they needed to be able to hold cultivators accountable, and in a quote, the Liquor Control Board has the ability to pull a license if people are misbehaving. I believe we wouldn't have called it a control board if we didn't intend for them to have that ability, said Jeanette White, a former Vermont senator. Following the hearing in the front of the Cannabis Control Board this week, Holland Cannabis will now have to wait at least 10 days for a written decision on whether their license will be revoked. And their attorney says should they not get the outcome they want, they could appeal as high as the Supreme Court, you guys. Well, look at this. This guy got caught using Eagle 20. Now, I don't condone Eagle 20, but I do condone them pushing back in the fact that they are trying to revoke this guy's license. But nonetheless, I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this.
Smoking Eagle 20 has been shown to cause testicular cancer. Mm-hmm. Fuck that guy.
And my balls are hurting just thinking about the fact that somebody did this voluntarily and probably knowing darn well. I mean, this is the
I agree with that.
It's sprinkling E. coli over your Michelin-starred meals as they go out the pass at your restaurant. This is putting humans in harm's way. I actually don't think that there needs to be ample due process if there has already been a determination of fact. And I think that anytime people are prioritizing profits over people in a way that harms people, and where we already know it's not even a debate about whether Eagle 20 is okay.
It's definitely not okay to sell, or it's definitely not okay to sell.
To me, this is one of those fucked up and found out. Like, you lost your license. I'm not sorry for anybody who does this. Just like I'm not sorry for any convicted rapist, no matter how much time has passed. I'm not sorry for people who use Eagle 20 in 2024. In 1997, when we didn't know better, there was an era where we put things on our plants, or we thought that, because it was an Omni-rated product, we could just foliar to fuck with everything, but we can't do that. And if this person did it, I don't think ignorance is a defense. And so the only way you get to keep your license if you do something like this would be to say that ignorance is a defense. Well, Jason, you don't believe that ignorance is a defense. You don't believe that just because somebody didn't know the rules of the road, they're allowed to drive on the wrong side of the road or to not have their taillights work. And so I think people like this don't deserve any compassion, any grace, or any second chances.
You're here.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! We all have some agreement. I mean, I do find it. I do like the fact that he is pushing back on the state powers in this board, and I'm definitely going to have some popcorn out for this. But I do think that that you should definitely not be selling Eagle 20 to patients, to anyone, even in people in good health. You know what I mean? For that matter. But I do think that the market should just stop going to this place, and he should get shut down due to financial reasons and not be able to operate his business, as opposed to the state just pulling his license.
let me just listen, I know we're over time, and let me just say I don't give a fuck, okay?
Yeah.
When you question the authority of the board, your punk ass didn't question the authority of the board when they gave you a permit that led you to sell legal weed.
That's true.
So now that they are going to take your permit for being a fucking numbnut, now you want to question their authority? That's trying to have your cake and eat it too. I don't co-sign that kind of behavior. And I also don't think that we need additional litigation. I don't think we need operators. Like, pick and choose your battles. And to me, this is a thoroughly self-serving battle. There's no greater good in questioning the authority and wondering how that can serve the rest of the operators. So this person, two thumbs down, they're not getting a golden ticket. They're not going on to Hollywood.
Fair enough. Any final thoughts on this, Mathieu St. Germain, before we get out of here?
I'm going totally sideways. Read The Devil's Chessboard. It's a biography of Alan Dulles. It starts with Alan Dulles in the OSS, forming the CIA, smuggling all the Nazi intelligence officers over here to start the CIA and the NSA. Oh, basically, America is the Fourth Reich. And to your comment, Jason, about bad people around the world who hate us, you can read in this book directly why all of these people hate us. It is a story of the assassination.
I'm not saying that there's people inside.
Story of the assassination of people's leaders, funding of death squads, the training of torture. You can see in this one book how the CIA fomented global disease and all of these revolutions, empowered the Islamic Revolution so that we could continue to steal the oil from the Middle East. Next, read Operation Chaos and learn about how the CIA gave meth to bikers and flooded San Francisco with speed in order to destroy the Summer of Love. And Google COINTELPRO, Operation Chaos, and learn about how the FBI, our secret police, has been working with the CIA to destroy the black and brown communities, steal people's resources the world over. And you tell me what the answer. Jason, I love you. Thank you for allowing me my digressions.
Of course.
Sarah, I love you as well. Everybody out there, whether you love or hate me, I love you. There's nothing you can do about it.